Hey, everybody. Welcome to Ronline Report. Today's guest, one of the fastest rising men in the 212 Pro Division. Please welcome, all the way from Connecticut, the Apex Predator, Kerrith Bajjo. What's up, Kerrith?
What's up, guys? What's going on, Ron?
That's going to be your new nickname. So I didn't come up with it. Somebody else came up with it, but I like that, Apex Predator.
Hey, man, no enemies, right? Apex Predator hunts everything. He doesn't get hunted.
Great white or, I don't know, a lion, something that's just the top of
Killer
the food
whale.
chain.
Yeah, killer whale. You got a ton of animals, but
Yeah, yeah.
nothing that can bring me harm.
Yeah, yeah. So one thing I want to ask you, have you ever met another Kerrith?
You know what? It's funny you mention that. There's a reporter for NBC.
Oh,
Her, yeah, Kerrith Brown is her name, but she only spells it with one R, and I'm older, so technically it's my name.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
on
yeah.
lease. It's on
Okay.
lease. But across seas, I guess it's kind of popular in England.
Oh, really? Yeah. I mean, it
Yeah.
sounds like familiar, but I honestly I've never met anyone named Kerrith except for you. But it's a cool
Oh, well,
name. Yeah.
yeah. I listen. I'm stuck with it now. Why try and change it? But yeah, I mean, it's something that my aunt suggested to my mother. Funny story. I should have been Ruben because my dad wanted me to be Ruben Jr.
Hmm.
Ruben's my middle name. But
Okay.
anyhow, now you know. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I should have been Ruben, and till this day, my dad still gets pissed when he mentioned it. So he's like,
Well,
that damn woman.
well, 1969, they were in the delivery room and the TV had a McDonald's commercial. Ronald McDonald, they said, that's a cool name, Ronald. And that's how I became Ronald. But yeah,
Hey,
not a true story at all. Man, you are currently preparing for New York Pro. And my goodness, you look like I'm sure you have different standards, but you look like ready to go on stage within a week if you had to.
I gotta
Uh,
say this. This
yeah, I
is this
mean,
is the most productive year for me. As far as just muscular development, dude.
that's
Um, right. As far as that goes, and just staying close to not I don't want to say perfection, but close to stage look. Not really stage weight, but the look stayed very close to what we need to be on stage. So I think we're at a point where we're almost, if you say the word, if there was a show, the right show popped up, we could take it there in 2 weeks.
wow. You actually just before we started recording informed me that you're not at the 212 cap, which I assumed you were right there and
Oh,
struggling to make 212. You won the
yep,
Texas Pro last August. Same
yep.
same show Andrew Jack made a big splash at
Yeah, shout out to
198.
Andrew.
198. I can't
One
believe that. And the Olympia 202. You still have
202. Yep.
10 pounds. You have 10 pounds to play with. That's a lot.
It's a lot, and I gotta say this year, it's still not difficult to take the weight off, but we're closer to the cap. So we put on a significant amount of muscle since December.
Yeah, as an older guy, I'm much older than you, but we just argued about your age because internet's got your birth year listed all over the place. You're
Oh
41
man.
you're 41 years old, which is bodybuilding that's not old at all anymore. That's like average now, but
Right.
still.
That's when you start to look your best.
But to be making improvements in size, it's not very common over the age of 40. It's usually you're lucky to be holding on to the size that you built in your 20s and so forth. So do you figure you're kind of an anomaly in that sense?
I think it's a lot simpler than that, Ron, to be honest, because I kind of got a late start when it came to actually bodybuilding. I would weight train, sure, but I never really lifted religiously like a bodybuilder. So when 32 came around and I decided, hey, I want to get into this more, I started, going on like websites, bodybuilding.com's forum and stuff like that. And I started following Arnold's workouts. So I'd do those things verbatim, and I got in insane shape as a natural athlete. And, things just started picking up from there, and learning how to eat. I learned how to pack on size, and it was never really an issue because it's always been the same type of food that I always ate. I just had to eat a little bit more of it, and it was like my body was primed. I like to think that I maximized my human potential, before I even got to bodybuilding. So when I started doing that, it was all uphill. It's all positive gains.
Yeah. So, when I Googled you real quick, I saw some records you had set in track and field and stuff. So, was that your main sport before bodybuilding? Was track?
I mean, it wasn't a sport.
I
Track
thought
always had the cutest girls. Always something to do, and it was better than going home. So, and I was actually pretty fast, but fast forward after that, I actually got faster when I graduated because I didn't start getting that development that I needed. I was still pretty good. I was one of the faster guys in Connecticut in my time. And I was always a better jumper. I was one of the better jumpers in the state. So that was just like really what I did. But, I was the backyard athlete. Like anytime, the all-star athlete would come over to our hood and play football, I'm like, all right, go get Kerrith, like, yeah, so it was always me against whoever was the fastest.
I'm just curious, what led you to bodybuilding?
Honestly, I've been told since like 17 when I started flirting around with gym memberships and things like that, hey, you should look into this. I take it back to, I might be wrong about this, but I think Planet Fitness started in a town called Vernon, Connecticut that I used to live in. And it was actually a hardcore gym. There was actually only 2 of them, and then they began growing exponentially. And this was like, talking about like grunting and chalk and all kinds of stuff back in the day. So I went there. I went to another gym called Body Fit that, I met a guy named Mo Mendez. And Mo, I believe he was 6-time Mr. Universe. He was always in every magazine. So, I'm like, all right, well, who's this Jack dude that comes in with a new girl every single week? No, I'm not snitching on you. It just happened. Yeah, but, he told me, he's like, dude, you should really look into this. So, I was like, nah, I'd never do the whole posing on stage, running around in posing trunks. That's not me.
Yeah.
And, I think when my athletic candle burned out at both ends, or I should say I left a little bit in reserve, right?
Yeah, clearly.
So it got close. It got close. And, I just didn't want to do dynamic stuff anymore. So I started, flirting with the weight training and, things just felt good. I used to hate feeling sore. Now I love it.
Yeah. So you didn't start competing until 2015. Is that right?
2014. Summer 2014. Yeah.
Okay.
It was a 4-week prep that I did with Chris Tuttle.
Oh, wow. Cool. Shout out to Chris, one of the greatest guys and a Connecticut native.
Yeah.
Just to throw it out there, guys, Connecticut is part of New England. Don't get twisted. They're not part of New York and New Jersey. That's still New England.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm gonna include you in the greatest New England bodybuilders of all time.
Hey,
they don't.
Thank you.
That's it. You're part of the crew now. But man, so New York Pro. Tell me if I'm wrong. I feel like the reason you're going back to this show, I feel like you have something to prove. This is your 3rd New York Pro. So you did it in your first pro season, 2018, correct? 8th place.
Yep.
Came back the next year, 3rd place. I was there, and that was a very controversial. You weren't controversial in 3rd, but they almost had a riot because Ahmad Ashkanani beat Eduardo Correa.
Yeah.
To this day, I'll tell you, Ahmad, you didn't win that show. Sorry, bro. Eduardo won that show. What do I know? But
you know what? I'm not going to disagree with you. I am not going to disagree with you, but I will say this. I think I got 2nd at that show. Minus the whole gynecomastia thing. Sure, it happened. It was a thing. But we can move on from it. But you take into account physique, size, shape, symmetry. I think I had him beat dead to rights. No, I can go back.
Talk about Ahmad, right? Ahmad Ashkanani.
Yes.
He was off. He was off at that show. Sorry.
Yeah, but it is what it is, and sometimes it just doesn't swing your way.
So here we are, 2023 New York Pro.
Yeah,
you had to qualify for the Olympia again somewhere. By the way, guys, Kerrith has been the Olympia twice. He was 8th place and moved up to 7th this last one. Looking to move up higher, but you could have. There's all kinds of shows you could have picked. Why'd you pick New York Pro?
Well, I live on the Connecticut-New York border, even though I'm still New England at heart, always, always, but it's right there. I mean, the venue is 45 minutes from the house, even though it's in Jersey now,
Yeah.
it's still relatively close. And that's my baby, you know what I mean? That was the first one. Everybody always told me the night of champions, the night of champions. And the New York Pro is an evolution of that. So I like to think that there's some legacy there, and to be mentioned as one of the winners of that show, to me, it's a big deal. I used to see Juan Morel call it his own Olympia. He would say, that's my Olympia. And it took me a while to understand that, but there's nothing like being in front of a crowd in New York. It's different.
Yeah.
People know, I love the whole country. I love Texas. Texas is awesome. Tampa is awesome. Even Chicago and Georgia was awesome. Georgia people are great, but there's a gritty rawness about up north,
Yeah. I mean, I only went to it a couple times when it was still Night of Champions. Most of the times I went to it was after it had changed over, but still the audience, it's all New York and New Jersey people in that audience, some Connecticut people, but it's a very hardcore, very loud audience.
Yeah.
If they like you, they let you know. They're not shy. Like,
oh yeah,
they scream, shout. When they're mad, they throw things at the stage. Yeah, they're pretty crazy there. But you're also doing a very cool video series called Road to New York Pro on your YouTube channel right now.
Shout outs to you because of that.
Oh.
Yeah, you were, part of the reason why that actually happened, believe it or not.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, no. So when we were in Georgia, and actually, no, was it Georgia? I think it was Georgia. Yeah,
because Pro was in Georgia that time, I think.
Yeah, no, you just got done talking to John Meadows, rest his soul, and you came over and you talked to me, and you're like, "Hey, listen, I didn't know you, but people need to know you." He's like, "You got a YouTube," and you told me you gotta start posting, you gotta start doing this thing. So, shout outs to you and thank you for getting the ball rolling and getting me off my ass, man.
Yeah, but I mean the quality. Is it Century Productions? What's the name of the company?
Yeah, so Century is my guy. That's Josh DeWoody. Josh shot for me back in the day. He called me up. He's a young man from Kingston, New York, and he's just like, "Hey, I'm a fan of what you do. Let me show you what I could do with you." And he made some cool little motivational videos for me. And I mean, if it wasn't Josh, it would be Ricky, New England Muscle Media. But
Ricky Labs,
yeah, I don't think I'm missing either way because they're both high end, top quality, top notch products.
Yeah, and, with your physique, because you have that quality of the graininess and the mature muscle and the striation and stuff.
It is, old man muscle.
Old man muscle. That super high quality, high resolution video is perfect because you wouldn't be able to appreciate that. Otherwise, with regular video, you wouldn't know exactly that was all going on unless you were front row at a contest. But they're doing a great job. So, guys, is it just your name? Is the name of the channel?
It's Kerrith Bajjo 894. I think I gotta change that, right?
Well, I don't know. If you look up Kerrith Bajjo, hopefully it pops up. Put Kerrith Bajjo Road to New York Pro in the search bar. It should come up. But you just dropped episode 3 as we're speaking recently.
Well, I dropped some clips. The new one comes out tomorrow.
Okay. Well, by the time this comes out, it'll be long out. So man, yeah, and that was at 9 weeks out. You were shooting from New York Pro.
I started at actually it was 11 weeks out. It aired when we were 9 weeks out.
Oh wow, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so I actually got better.
Well, you look 2 weeks out, so there you go.
I'll take it. Thank you.
You know what? I've never heard anyone try to make a rivalry between a feud, rivalry, whatever you want to call it, you and Keon, but I realize how close you guys have been at a lot of shows.
Yeah.
Especially, let's go back to Chicago Pro 2021. You were third because it was Keon, and then I didn't even remember that he had beat you in, was it Tampa 2022 last year, right before you won in Texas. Yeah,
he edged me out in Tampa. That was very, Keon was the winner. Let's call it what it is. But, for most people, that was a controversial win. They thought that I got shafted on that one. But, listen, I'm not going to sit here and cry over spilled milk. Keon looked great. I thought I looked great. And that was it. He won. I got second.
It was an apple and an orange, and
Yeah.
you were condition on you was much much better. There's no question. Keon's not going to argue that. He does have just this beautiful, gifted structure and shape from God,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's a very very pretty physique, but
It's hard to
gnarly
beat.
great. It is, and I mean, it could have gone
Hard to
either
beat.
way.
Yeah.
Judges
It's
have
hard
a
to beat.
hard
Let's
time.
call it what it is. And you know what? He presents it well.
Yeah, he's a great poser. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. He presents it well, which, only amplifies his look. A guy like that could come in kind of off, present it very well, and convince you, you just saw some crazy shit.
Yeah, I've seen it. I mean, Samson Dowda was not the most ripped man on that Arnold stage, but he was the best overall physique.
Yes, I agree. But, I love Samson. And honestly, I think that was an awesome lineup. Going into the night show, I thought Nick was winning. I truly did. I thought that Nick was winning. But, again, that's what I saw on TV. And I'm a huge Samson fan. Like, I like all his stuff. I'm a Nick Walker fan as well. I think that these guys were at the top of their game. Could they have been better? That's always the case, right? We always say we could have did a little bit more, but you could have swapped first two easily. There would have been an argument either way.
There's also a huge camp of Rami fans who believe he was the rightful champion. He got screwed. He should have been first. Everyone else should have been behind him. It's all opinion.
Yeah, you know what though? I'll say this: I didn't appreciate Rami's conditioning until I saw pictures, because I don't know if it was his tan or what, but it didn't really translate on video. Maybe he was outside of the lighting, but when I saw stills of him, I was like, wow, Rami was really conditioned.
He was.
I mean, striated glutes beyond striated glutes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I wouldn't take that away from him for a second. But I don't want to get all the Rami fans mad at me. So let's move on. So the point I guess I'm making is the last time you faced off against Keon, you guys were again right there. You were in eighth place. He was just above you in seventh. So everyone's friends. You all love each other. You all respect the hell out of each other. But will it be a special day for you when you beat Keon?
Oh, listen, wow. that how do I not come off pompous in that answer?
I mean, if I were you, if this guy's been beating me over and over again, it's kind of close. If the day when I finally beat him, I'd be like, okay, because you finally got past somebody that had been beating you for a while.
Well, in truth, I beat him already. In 2021, I placed higher than him at the Olympics.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Well, that was it.
So, I guess that moment is come and gone. But do I think I could beat Keon again? I'd be lying if I said that I don't think I could beat anyone in my division. If my cards are down and everything is dialed in, we'll give anybody a problem. I say that with all confidence and all respect to my competitors.
Well, I mean, you've backed it up. You got 2 pro wins so far.
Yes.
2 top 10 showings at the Olympia. You're on the rise, and I've said it before, but I really think 2023 is going to be that year where you go from here to here. It's going to be a level up for you. The placings at the Olympia, everything's going to go up this year for you.
I'm going to prove you right.
Please do. So another thing since we were talking about the Arnold, what was it like watching Sean Clarita, who you've competed against many times, seeing him on the open stage? Not only that, but he places 5th at the Arnold Classic, and he wasn't that far behind Rami. They were only 3 points apart Friday night.
I didn't even know it was that close.
Yeah, 4 points apart Saturday night. So they weren't like very, very far apart. Sean, and I honestly thought Friday night I could have seen them putting Sean ahead of Rami. Now I'm going to get a lot of heat for that. But what was it like seeing Sean do so well on an open stage? And did that make you think, yeah, I'd like to do an open show?
So here it is. I'm partial. I love Rami, but listen, I'm always stick up for the little guy. And, I mean, like, I was pulling for Sean, man. I wanted him to go out there and obliterate all, but, he placed at the second biggest show in the world?
Yeah.
5th. That's pretty impressive for a guy who gets outweighed by, at sometimes, more than 100 pounds.
Rami had 120 pounds on him.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal. And he held his own. You know, there are certain poses. I would say that, hey, it could be argued that Sean beat that entire lineup, you know, in certain poses. Like, let's
Yeah.
be clear. I don't want to be misconstrued and I don't want to get, you know, hate from everybody else. But if you got it, bring it. You know, I really think that that set the tone that, you know, 212 guys are here to stay. We can get in the ring with anybody. But a little known fact, I actually was trying to submit an application to the Arnold.
Oh.
And, you know, because my conditioning looked the part. You know, I was seeing these guys post, you know, progress pics a couple weeks out. And I'm like, wait, hold on. If you look like that then, and I look like this now, and I'm not even prepping for a show, let's see if we can get in. Unfortunately, I never got a response. And, you know, when it came time to really, you know, double down on our efforts,
Yeah.
it was like, all right, you know what? It's come and gone. But I was trying to get into the Arnold. So I wish it could have happened. Maybe next year.
Yeah, maybe next year. Absolutely. Because
Maybe next year.
we know
But
they
as
got
far
rid
as
of
doing an open show, that is going to happen. That is going to happen. I would love for it to happen this year, possibly sneak into a smaller open show, get our feet wet, maybe a Puerto Rico, or, you know, they don't have that show in Alaska anymore, do they?
there was never an open show in Alaska.
Yeah, no, Sean won it. Clarita won it.
As an open?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
I think
no,
it was
not as
212.
an open, as a 212 guy.
Okay, yeah.
But I think they had an open division.
Wow. No, I mean, that's news to me. And I talked to the promoter of that show real briefly at the Arnold, and until then, I had forgotten there had ever been a pro show in Alaska. Please, Alaska people, all three people in Alaska watching this, don't get mad at me, man. But yeah, so I mean, Bumstead's talked about it. Everyone from another division who wants to do an open show says the way to do it would be to do it either right before your scheduled, in your case, 212 show, or right after.
Yeah.
It would probably make more sense for you. Let's say you win New York Pro. That's middle of May. And now there's all kinds of open shows.
Yep.
Condition wise, I don't think it would be that hard for you to hold on to your condition.
No,
would you come in looking the same, or would you try to come in a little bigger and fuller, and maybe, I hate to say, sacrifice a smidgen of condition to come in really full?
So here's my thing. Post show, you know, you always look better, but this is where I think I am an anomaly because I look way better, way better. I think the conditioning doesn't really falter much. The only thing is when I put on that much size that fast, I sacrifice things like posing endurance. So now we got to condition it to present it in the right way. But that would probably be my Achilles heel, if anything. The aesthetic component, I got that. And I think we can time that perfectly. You know, we wouldn't come in 20 pounds heavier or anything crazy like that, but maybe 5-6 pounds from whatever I competed at a few weeks before.
So you just raised an interesting point. You say you always look better after the show. You don't lose condition. So why don't you just do whatever you're doing after the show the day before the show?
Because that's the conundrum of bodybuilding. It's so hard to time it. You know, that's why sometimes you're off, sometimes you're spot on. You know, it's tough. It's tough. If it were that simple, I would do it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I mean, tell me that when you say you look better, I think everybody looks a lot fuller. You know, you've hydrated after the show, you've drank, you're fuller. I think in like close up, when you look in the mirror, you looking sensational. But I wonder, put you on stage under the bright lights, the way you looked that morning after we're all filled out, would the lines be blurrier? I wonder, because no one's ever done that.
You know what? I think that needs to happen.
Yeah,
you know,
Sunday morning show.
Why not? You know, let's line up all the winners and see what they look like.
Yeah, good idea. Well, I mean, we have 2-day shows, but again, everyone's playing it safe.
Right.
Everyone's afraid, I better not drink anything. I better not eat anything weird. And then, you know, that's every bodybuilder loves to tell you, oh, the day after the show, you should have seen me. If I had looked like that,
yeah,
I would have won the Mr. Olympia, for goodness sake. But let's switch gears again. By the shirt, we got some great news. You have joined the Redcon 1 team.
Yes,
state
sir.
residence. So how did that come to be? First of all, congratulations on it, but let me know, how'd that
Thank you.
happen?
So when I was at the Olympia, actually, rewind. Jacqueline Cara, who's down at Bev Francis, is one of the tier operators for Redcon, and she became a huge friend of mine, huge fan of mine. I guess I call her that. It sounds cringy, but because she's a friend, so it's kind of weird. But she was a big advocate of me joining the team, so she networked a little bit, and she got my name in there, and these guys started taking a look at me. So Eduardo, Ryan, and Matt, all started taking a look at me before Aaron got out. And then Aaron got out, and the rest is history. They said, we want to bring you on. So, thank God for these guys, because, man, they look out for me in a whole different way. They really make my efforts validated, and it was something that I always wanted, was a sponsorship. I didn't think I would get the sponsorship that I actually desired with the company that I desired.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad to see them starting to bring back more top active competitors.
Yeah,
Kai Green, we love Kai. He's a legend, but I wouldn't bet you 10 cents he's ever going to step on stage again.
And you know what's funny, Ron? I saw him not too long ago. He could.
I know he could.
He could. He could. I'm not busting his chops or anything, but he would still be, my personal opinion. And yeah, so what? I'm biased. I'm a fan. I think he could go out there and easily still be top 5 in the world.
Now, let me ask you: when you saw him, did he take the hoodie off, or did he keep?
He didn't have to. I could tell by his arms.
Okay, because he never takes it. We did a whole training video with me and him last year, and he would not take the hoodie off. He was driving me nuts. Come on, Kai, please just take it off for like a couple sets. Like, nope.
Well, we were in Boca, so he had the sleeves cut off of his hoodie.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, "Hey, did you realize that your quads are popping out of your shoulders?" So he's still in phenomenal shape, man. I mean, and if you're walking around like that daily, imagine if you said, "All right, well, I'm going to do a prep." That'd be crazy.
So the contest I wish he would do. Kai, you're listening? I've asked him like 3 times. He just says, you never know. That's his answer. Masters Olympia, it's coming up in August. People had to put in applications for it. Unless you're Kai, I don't think what are they going to say? No, Kai, you can't enter the Masters Olympia. Please.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to do it. But you, on the other hand, you're 41 years old. Go ahead. Yeah. What were you going to say?
No, I'll say my humble opinion, I think Kai, he needs to do regular open, not just masters. He's too good. He's too good. And not to say that the more mature athletes aren't, equally as good. It's just Kai still, look how he's still, carried the torch, even without stepping on the stage. You know what I mean? So he still has relevancy. And I just want to see, something crazy like a Lunsford Kai Green lineup. How nutty would that be? Imagine those two backs on stage.
That would be awesome. But what about the Masters Olympia rematch? First time since 2014, Kai Green versus Phil Heath.
Yeah, Phil's looking good these days. Phil's looking in shape. I haven't seen him in person, but I have seen Kai in person.
Well, I think they dropped it from 45 to 40 so that Phil could enter. That's my personal belief. Because all of a sudden now you don't have to be 45. Now you only have to be 40. Interesting.
It's enticing, but I mean, is it even worth it for either?
Yeah. Well, let me ask you about you, because you're eligible now. You're one of the greatest open 212 competitors. I don't have Masters 212 shows. I think you'd have a very, very good chance of winning 212 Masters Olympia. Any interest at all?
Not yet. Not yet. I think we can keep that ace in our pocket for now. But I'd be lying if I said that I didn't entertain it for a bit. I just think that I still have something to prove to myself. Not to anyone else. I think I still have something to prove to myself as just, traditional competitive bodybuilder. And I really think I could win the 212 Olympia. There's no doubt in my mind that if we put everything together, we can own that title. So until I've given everything to that, I won't step foot on the Masters Olympia stage.
I'd like to ask you about Redcon. Is you probably just started using the products fairly recently. You're in prep now.
I've
Which what
always
have you
been a
been using?
fan of, I'm sorry,
No, you've been using them for a while even before they signed you.
Total War has been my go-to for at least the good 3 years now.
Okay. Anything that you've just started using that you really like?
Big Noise.
Big noise.
Non,
Okay.
yeah, the non-stem pre-workout. And I actually learned something when I was down in Boca. A lot of the reps down there were like, "Hey, take half of this and half of this, and you'll have the best pump ever." And I'm addicted to doing that. I got to tell you, like my workouts have been phenomenal since January.
Only do a half a scoop of each.
Half a scoop of each.
Oh
I
wow.
mean, if you haven't built tolerance, with all pre-workouts, you start to build the tolerance.
Right.
So, right now we're probably 3/4 each. If it spills over a little bit on the Big Noise, I don't care so much. It's not gonna give me the jitters or anything like that.
Yeah. Have you tried the Total War Black Ops? It's supposed to be even stronger.
Man, let me tell you, that stuff is, yeah, that's powerful. I save that for those days when you don't think you have it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because it is 400 milligrams of caffeine. So you
Oof.
got to be ready to take it. So make sure you take this in the morning, if you're going to have like an afternoon workout, because you want to make sure you're able to sleep that night. And if not, you could always take the gummies. I don't
Sleep
want to do a
gummies.
commercial. I don't want to, I don't want to take, too much time dwelling on all the products. And I was talking about the melatonin gummies that Redcon makes.
Sleep. They're called sleep
Not
gummies.
edible.
Yeah,
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 not edible.
yeah.
Just had to clear that up. But yeah, that stuff is very strong. You will find yourself having probably more focus, more energy than any other pre-workout that I've ever tried. And I mean, I go back to the days when, what was it? BSN was making NO Explode.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've
You-
taken that. Granted,
you-
that used to do things to your stomach before your workout that you don't even want to talk about,
oh man.
but you had a phenomenal workout after you're done. So if I could equate it to anything, it'd be like having the post effect of that NO Explode without the pre effect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I just to caution everyone out there, you shouldn't be taking strong pre-workouts at night if you plan on sleeping that night. Bad
100%.
idea. I wouldn't
100%.
even with sleep gummies or whatever. I wouldn't want to have to try to have the stims and the melatonin fighting it out in my body to see who wins.
Yeah, yeah. I'd say train early. Get 2 meals in you. Boom, hit the gym, exhaust yourself, get a good night's rest, do it again.
Last thing I want to ask you about is, I've known so many bodybuilders who did not want to be in relationships, definitely didn't want to be married because they said that's going to be a distraction. I need to focus just on me. Like
Yeah.
Sean Ray would not do any of that until he had retired. He wouldn't even have serious relationships. He's married and has kids now, but he waited
Yeah.
until he was all done, retired. But then we've also known guys like yourself and many others who found that having
Lee
that
Haney.
Lee Haney, oh, thank you. Yeah, 8-time Mr. Olympia doesn't get more successful than that. They say that that gave them extra motivation, that support, that love. It made things actually a lot easier, not harder. You've been with Lori for years now, and
Oh wow. Yeah.
she seems to be a very very critical component of your career. Uh, just for the guys out there, the youngsters, any advice on relationships or no relationships as a aspiring bodybuilding champ?
Absolutely. So if I'm gonna give any advice, I'm gonna say number one, if you're not in the relationship before you start doing this, don't start. You know what I mean? If you're in the relationship, you got to express to your partner that, hey, listen, I'm going to do this and I want you to be a part of this journey. Luckily for me, when Lori and I met, we were both, aspiring NPC competitors. And, oddly enough, we met in person at one of the shows that neither of us knew we were doing. So ever since then, it's kind of been, a building of things. And, while she doesn't actively compete now, it's almost like she does because she's got me in every which way. So you got to find somebody that's on the same page as you. Otherwise, this thing will never work out. She's with me through the wins, through the losses, through, the days where I don't want to train, where she's like, hey, listen, you got to go to work. You know what I mean? So get in the gym, do your thing, suck it up. We'll talk about it later. And if you don't have somebody like that from the get-go, it's going to be very difficult for you to make that work in progress.
Yeah. I mean, like I've said speculatively, I don't think most relationships would work where one person was the bodybuilder and the other one was just a regular person who had never lived the lifestyle, who didn't really understand it, because it's a crazy life of eating every 2 hours. Other people, everybody would be like, why do you have to eat again? You just ate. And you'd be like, well, I can't go there. I have to eat at 2 o'clock. They'd be like, what do you mean you have to eat at 2 o'clock? That's ridiculous. Or I have to train now. I have to do my cardio. They're like, why can't you just do it tomorrow or later? It wouldn't make sense. But like I said, you met Lori. You were both already in the sport. She lives a lifestyle. Do you think most couples would fall apart pretty quickly if one of them was totally focused on bodybuilding and the other one had no clue what the hell was going on?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've seen it. I've seen it. So, and I don't mean to laugh at those situations, but, because some of my friends have been in those situations. But, I told them from the get-go, hey, listen, if this person doesn't know what you're doing, they're not going to be ready for it. It's completely foreign to them. It's like trying to put a left shoe on a right foot. That's the only analogy I can come up with. It's just not going to work. I mean, it might get on the foot, but go ahead and try and walk in it. Ready yet? Let it pick up steam and go ahead and try and run with it. I guarantee you're going to trip and fail.
I'm stealing that. Well, it's because, especially where it's your profession now.
Yeah.
It's not a job where you punch a clock and when you're done, you're done. It's 24/7. It's your rest. Your sleep is important. Everything you eat is important.
Yep.
It's not like you ever get a break from being a bodybuilder. It's from the minute you wake up to the time you go to sleep. You're training, you're eating, you're cooking, you're doing all this. Well, I don't know. Does she do the cooking? I don't know.
Oh, no, that's me. But you know what I mean? Like, if it wasn't for her, I'd probably miss meals because she's at the grocery store before I could ask for it. So she looks out for me. And that's another thing. If you don't have somebody in this that's going to be legit, at the grocery store with you every 2 days, because no matter what you buy, you're going to forget something. If you don't have somebody like that in your corner, dude, it's going to be very hard. It's going to be a long journey for you.
Well, that has been Relationship Advice 101 from Kerrith, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. But
who needs Dr. Phil? You got me.
Yeah, I mean, I like to get that stuff in there once in a while because, people, they always want to know about how many chicken breasts you eat and how many reps you do. I'm like, yeah, that's nice. But what about your life as a whole? How's this going to integrate into your life and your relationships? And, this isn't your whole life. Someday you're going to be retired from bodybuilding, and what we have. If you forego relationships, you wake up and you're 50. You're like, oh man, what would I do that for?
Yeah. I missed the whole movie.
Yeah, exactly. Damn it! Now I'm 50.
Yeah.
Now I got to try to find a wife. Oh boy.
Yeah, and then on top of that, I mean, you got to have somebody that fits. That's going to make sure you as a competitor is always in the best stress-free environment, because cortisol is the enemy of bodybuilders everywhere. And if you don't got somebody that's going to ride it out with you through the good and the bad, and, shave your body, shave your body and put up with your bullshit.
Good luck shaving your own back, guys. Good luck.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. And I mean, like, she goes the extra mile for me, man. If there's anybody on stage that wants me to succeed more than myself, it's her. She gets more emotional about losses than I do. She gets more emotional about wins than I do. And that's rare because it's like when I'm out there presenting me, she's with me.
Well, it's funny you say that. I've noticed, my job is to be critiques of physiques. And typically it's not the athlete themselves that I've ever had a really angry response from. It's usually the wife or the girlfriend.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you could hear him in the crowd.
Karen Morrell tore me to pieces one time in Toronto because I said some crap about Juan's leg or whatever. And, I love the Morrells, especially their cookies. My cookie dealers are the best.
Oh, please. Yeah, guys, send some cookies, please.
But you know what? If you have a woman like that in your corner, good Lord. Yeah. Count yourself blessed. But I do have to ask you, You seem like such a chill guy. Toward the end of a prep, though, do you become like this distant jerk like most guys, or no?
You know what, Ron? It's funny that you ask that because I see things completely different than she does. You know, I don't think I changed that much, but you know, you let her tell it. I'm kind of hangry. I don't see it. I really don't. Like, if anything, I get more quiet. I don't really get an attitude. I kind of go mute. You know, I think that's the best way for me to deal with whatever I'm going through is to kind of just gobble it up and save it for when I need to train. You know, save it for when I need to pose. And I use those little moments to kind of motivate me in those times of depletion when, you know, you can't hold a pose and you got to smile through it. You know, I think about those times that, hey, you know what, this pissed me off. And then all of a sudden I'm back in it. I got my second win. You know, but
at least you're quiet. Okay.
yeah, you know, but I'm not a talkative person by nature. I'm usually pretty reserved.
Fair enough. I had to know. I had to know. Is this guy like? Is he human? He must. The prep must get to him at the end, even though he seems like such a cool guy. I bet it gets to him a little bit at the end.
No, you know, I'm pretty even keeled, man. You know, and if anything, I'm below weight, so it's not like I need to struggle to make weight. So it's not really too tedious for me. You know. You know, I'd be lying if I said that, you know, I'm angry and I'm slamming stuff. Like if I ever get to that point, I think it's time for me to hang it up.
True. But yeah, I can imagine the guys who were like 212 competitors who are 230 at 2 weeks out. I can imagine what they're going through.
Oh no, that must be hell. That must be hell. But that also comes with the way your body responds to food and what your coach has you doing. So, you know, not to take shots at anybody's coach or anything, but if you're at 230 2 weeks out, I don't know, you might want to consider jumping ship or something. It just seems like a lot for your body to go through in 2 weeks.
And just a shout out to your coach.
Justin, man.
Justin Miller is a phenomenal coach, done some great work. And
you know, and he's not only a good coach, he's a great friend. And, you know, in the short space of time that we've known each other, it feels like, you know, we've always been friends. You know, it's one of those relationships. So he looks out for me, I look out for him, you know, and we talk almost every day. You know, it's very, very organic, nothing forced about it. It's like I was meant to meet this guy.
Yeah. I mean, I've known coaches who had a very distant sort of professional relationship with all their clients. They never got very friendly with them. I could tell by the interactions. It was strictly a business relationship.
Yeah.
But I've always seen Justin with his clients, and he's become a friend to like everyone he's ever coached because he cares he cares. He cares more about whether you're winning than you do. He really does.
Honestly, like I disregard the male-female component. He's a lot like Lori. You know? Yeah, he's backstage, like, you know, like, or I should say he's at the curtain, like, hey, you know, this, we got to do this. And by the time we get back to the hotel, he's got a list of things we got to correct, you know, but that shows me that he cares, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, you know, I appreciate the hell out of Justin being in my corner, and he is my second set of eyes, but he's also, you know, one half of the good conscience on my left shoulder, you know?
Yeah. Warrior would be the other half. Yeah, right there. So awesome, man. So that's it, man. Congratulations.
You gotta they're both on his shoulder.
I was gonna say, what's on the other shoulder?
that's got to be the you know, the one that I shouldn't listen to.
Some people have two devils. That's a problem. But yeah. So congrats on the Redcon deal. That's awesome. Very happy for you. I said it on Instagram the other day. I'm going to say it again. Put all your money on this man to win the New York Pro 212.
From your mouth to God's ears.
Because gambling is now legal in Massachusetts. We just got Sportsbook here, so you can do it. Yeah, I'm sure.
DraftKings, right?
Is it? I think it is. I think we have sports DraftKings. Yeah, it's something like that. I don't know. I'm not a gambler.
DraftKings actually started in Mass.
Correct. Yeah, there's a commercial with Lenny Clark, the comedian, letting everyone know that. Yeah, very strong Boston accent on Lenny. So anyway, that's it, man. You're already in. You're wicked hot. You're already in great shape. So you're one of those guys I never have to wonder, oh, is he gonna be in shape for this show? There's more. I won't name any names, but there's some guys I'm like, I never know if they're gonna be in shape till I see them. And then I'm like, oh, thank God. Or I'm like, he freaking blew it again. But You never
I'll say
disappoint. Never.
this will be my best showing yet, hands down. We're already there. Trust me when I tell you this will be my best showing ever. So if somebody's to beat me, hats off to them. I respect the shit out of you because I know I'm putting forth a lot to get this one. You know, this is the one that got away. This is the one that got away, and now I started talking to her again. So now I just got to reel her in. You know?
Yeah. New York Pro, man. Third time's a charm. That's what they say.
Yes, sir.
So let's see. We got a little ways to wait for it, but it's gonna those weeks are gonna fly right by. You know how that goes.
Absolutely.
So I will be
And I
seeing
mean,
you there in Teaneck, New Jersey, not New York.
yeah,
The New York Pro.
yeah. A little known fact: Teaneck, New Jersey has one of the best lit stages in the entire NPCI FBB, in my
Really?
opinion. Hey, think about it. Look at the pictures that come out of there. They always look phenomenal. You know, Texas is another one.
Yeah, Texas has great lighting.
Tampa usually has really good lighting there. Personally, I think that when it was at the Marriott, I think the Marriott had a little bit of lighting than the Hyatt did. But, you know, tomato, tomato. I still say Teaneck is probably one of the top three.
Yeah, oh, for sure. That's a Marriott at Glen Point, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I like when they have parking. It was great when it was in the city, and people say, "Wow, it needs to be back in New York City." I'm like, no, you can't park in the city. It's like $100 a day. I like
Seriously.
parking. I'm a suburban guy. I like parking lots, and
Yeah.
it's easy.
Just to get into the city now, you got to pay a fee, right?
Yeah, when you go over through the tolls and all that, it's terrible.
Oh, no. If you go beyond a certain street, like a certain
What?
street, you got yeah. There's like an inner city toll that you got to pay now.
That must be a new thing. Goodness
Yeah, it's
gracious.
within the past year.
Oh boy. Well, I'll be staying clear of New York City then.
Just be on foot. That's all.
Yeah, cool. All right, well, Kerrith, we look forward to seeing you on stage. 212 New York Pro
Yes, sir.
2023 edition. And yeah, I'm rooting for you, dude. I'm rooting for you.
Thank you so much, Ron. Thank you to Muscular Development. Thank you to Redcon. And guys, stay tuned. I do a shameless plug.
Yeah.
All right, make sure you guys follow me on Instagram, Kerrith_Bajjo. Make sure you guys follow me on YouTube, Kerrith894. Make sure you guys, what else do I got? Make sure you guys purchase Redcon supplements using my code APEX20, Flex Pro Meals, APEX20, and Pro Tan, your competition tan. You guys need that. Apex 10. Definitely check out all those sites and make sure you use Apex every day.
Predator, that's right. Oh, this is a good
That's it.
nickname. I might have to work this into the title somehow. All right.
Hey,
Cool.
I like it.
All right. And I'll throw a shameless plug. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, and turn on that notification bell so you know we have great new content. This has been Ronline Report with the Apex Predator, 212 champ Kerrith Bajjo. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
All right, guys.
Hey, did you like that video? Smash that like button, subscribe to MD, and please comment down below. Thanks for watching.